Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world.
Good evening, good morning.
I greet you according to your place of domicile and I welcome you to this program. While you are joining us, share the video, invite others to join. Wherever you are joining us from, share this video, invite others to join. Because we are going to go straight to the point. I don't want to stay here for a very long time, but it is very, very important. If you join us, invite others to join. Let's talk Nigeria politics. And let's talk African emancipation. Very, very important. Of course, we are aware that African leaders are all, you know, African leaders, some of the African leaders, not all of them, because they are actually trying to do, the right thing. They are trying to do the right thing. And then some of them are trying to, look towards where there is corruption. And if you look around you, this has been the tool, this has been the tactics of, you know, they always use to make sure that Africa remain poor. They use to make sure that there will never be a collective success in Africa. That is the reason why killing of Gaddafi was very, very easy for the USA, because when Gaddafi brought out an initiative, African leaders refused to support him. African leaders, some of them kick him. They actually stung him at the back, just like Scorpion does. Backstabbers. They stab him at the back, and then they created that room for the infiltrator, the enemy, to come in and justify their atrocities. Because that's always what we, you know, black people, you know, to ourselves. We will always create a vacuum that actually endangers our success, endangers our loved ones, endangers our people. That is the reason why it is very, very important that we actually root out every, imperial structure that is actually controlling and manipulating any countries in Africa. We will do very well. Any imperial structure, regardless. Of course, so many of you will be, you know, arguing that I am talking about the imperial structure because I am, I believe in self-determination, and then that I am fighting for Biafra. Maybe you believe that since I am fighting for Biafra and I am telling you this, you might believe that it is you know, of my great interest. Yes, of course, it is of my great interest. And it is also as well, it is as well of the great interest of the continent Africa, because we are having always, you know, a problem of division, a problem of division in Africa. When you see that something is going wrong somewhere, You ignore it. You say no. After all, you cannot interfere. After all, this is Nigeria. After all, that is South Africa. On the other hand, you say this is Namibia. This is Cameroon, or this is Ghana. It doesn't concern us, because otherwise, if you want to engage it, you go there, you collect bribe. You, instead of you trying to find a everlasting solution to the problem, you will become very, very biased. And that has been the problem in Africa, because every time somebody stand up to do something very good as a leader or as a representative of any group in Africa, you will find that person be bribed. That is the reason why every revolution does not have, you know, if Africa will have revolution, if Africa will have revolution, it is going to be a leaderless revolution. I heard Commander Malema talking about in BBC. He was actually, invited or interviewed by BBC, where they were asking him twist and turn questions. You know, they were actually, trying to use his past to justify his future. Then of course, he cannot, you cannot actually win an argument, especially with, against those who knows their story, against those who is fighting for something that they believe in. You cannot win an argument against them. And they are going to be very, very objective while in that argument. But except those who does not understand what they are fighting for, or does not understand exactly what they are standing up for. When you engage in a constructive argument with them, they will never actually succeed. But he succeeded because he knows his story. And it is very, very important for you to know that anybody who knows the story, anybody who is actually telling you the truth, you will never like them. Part of you, you will be very, very, you will be like, should I like this guy or should I not? Should I like this guy or should I not? That has been the way it is. It is natural. It is very, very natural, because truth is the only thing that is very, very bitter. It is not sweet. So, in this regard, so many African leaders who does not know their story, whenever the problem occur in Africa, or problem is actually emanating from any part of Africa, they ignore it because it doesn't concern them. But yet, and yet they are actually clamoring for, let's unite Africa. Do you know how to unite Africa? The only way we can unite Africa is when somebody in Ghana will criticize somebody who is a criminal in Nigeria. When somebody in Nigeria will criticize somebody who is a criminal in Kenya. When somebody in Kenya will criticize somebody who is a criminal in South Africa, etc. That is the only time, we will bring about that unity. And that is the only way we can have Africa revolution. Because when you decide to ignore it, or when you want to engage in the situation, you will engage in the situation because you are already biased by the bribe given to you. You will not engage in that situation the way it should be engaged. And you are not going anywhere because you will continue to believe now. I have gotten it. I got the bag. Then, at the end of the day, the bag is made up of fiat money. It is made up of a fiat money, a money that when US wake up in the morning and they decide to make a speech, the fiat money will drop. When US wake up in the morning, they decide to make a move, economic move, and the fiat money will drop. That is exactly what you will want to. Let me grab this bag. I don't know. They say to me, opportunity come but once. Opportunity does not come but once. Opportunity is in your everyday life. It does not come but once. It's always coming. But make sure that when it reaches you, you make a good decision about such opportunity. Because those decisions that you always make that will favor you will never bring that opportunity. It will never keep it going. It will never keep it going. Then you continue to say, no, opportunity come but once, because you have actually suppressed the opportunity from coming by telling a lie, by being biased, by speaking from both sides of your mouth. Instead of speaking the truth, you will speak lies just because they gave you a fiat money, a money that holds no value. A money that holds no value. If America wake up this morning or tomorrow morning and they decide to say, now we are giving you a sanction, we are sanctioning you, that your envelope, that your paper or tissue paper will be worthless. It becomes worthless. If this sanction gets, very far, do you know what happens? What happens is that your money will be devaluated. You will no longer have a currency. You will start using US dollars because they sanctioned you, with their dollars. You will be buying it. You see the reason why all this money we are actually grabbing. Journalists, brown envelope, government officials, ambassadors, diplomats, you give them, bag of money. You give them bag of money. They shut up. They will never speak something that is actually happening. They will always censor the news that they give back to their principles. The most important thing in Africa is that when you begin to criticize somebody who is an African leader and is doing wrong, regardless of where they come from, regardless of where they are, if we cannot engage in such, do such engagement, there is no way we will ever have African revolution or African unity. Try, do whatever you want. Do exactly whatever you want. If leaders in Africa does not criticize one another, we have not actually gotten to that level of having African revolution or being decolonized in Africa, because we must be able to do the way these our oppressors are doing. Because if you go to Europe, they can criticize, themselves, leaders. They don't care. If they come to EU meeting, they will, if they want, they criticize themselves as well. Then they will come to a resolution. They will come to terms. This is the problem. That is the problem. We sort it out. We find a way to resolve it, because it is going to have if it develops into a big problem in your border, then the next person suffers it. That is the most important thing that we don't understand. We want to say, no, we are respecting their foreign policy. Their foreign policy is to continuous infringement of human rights, continuous making policies that does not benefit a human being. Policies that doesn't benefit a human being. So you see these things, you ignore it because maybe you want to learn as a leader how to do such. And it is a systematic, it is a system that you can actually emulate as every African leaders. You might think, no, our democracy is working. You might think, yes, now, what we are doing here, you will be thinking, no, it is working. Slowly but surely, these people will make you to one day speak something that nullifies the policy that protects your human right activities. And that is actually the case. You will be admiring it. Maybe you will start picking up some certain individuals in your country and you start with them. Maybe they are not from your country, maybe they are visitors. You start with them, you start to treat them. Sometimes you go to some certain countries, you find police brutality on some foreign nationals. You find police brutality. You find police dealing with somebody that is not from there worse than the way he is dealing with their people. But these same people are from Africa. When you begin to see such things, I want you to know that your government is trying to emulate how to infringe human rights, but they have to start it with people who are not from there. Very soon, it will now get to you. Then you will start crying. Maybe the time they will be infringing, toppling upon human rights activities, you will say, no, these people, we don't like them. This person, no, I don't like you. But we remember he is walking, off the book. When you walk off the book and you saw how smooth it is, you saw how swift it is, you saw how to get away with criminality, you saw how to get away with murder, you know, you get used to it. Anything you do, everything you do as human being is very addictive. It depends on the one you want to pay much of your attention on. Now you begin to infringe human rights of these people because they are not they are not part of me. Just like Yoruba people, some Yoruba people are doing with Biafrans. You infringe the human right of Biafrans. No, they are not from Lagos. Lagosians, some of the Lagosians who are uninformed will be laughing, will be clapping, will be dancing. Maybe those Lagosians who are clapping, who are dancing, their mama may be Hausa, or their papa na Hausa, or their mama na Igbo. They will be clapping. Then one day, something like election which just came and gone in Lagos State. They reminded the one who his mother, his mom is a different tribe. They told that guy, dude, you are from your mom's tribe, so you cannot be a governor in this Lagos state because you are not a Lagosian. You are not a Yoruba. You see? Because now, maybe they've been doing it to Igbo people. All of them are supporting it. Supporting it. From that, one, it goes into the indigens. Indigens, then the discrimination that is like infectious illness will continue to expand. Will continue to expand. Before you know it, it is all over the place. Because you admired it. Because it favored you from the beginning. And while you are admiring it, you are implementing it. Because it favored you from the beginning. So That is an adage that says in our language, o rufula ebe eji onu mbazu enyi oru ibi ya, ọ na-amụ ya amụ na ọ marọ that na one day it will be for him. A, a slave who is actually watching another slave being ill-treated, being, intimidated, being molested, that same slave continue to, smile at the slave. One slave smiling at another slave whom is being ill-treated, not knowing that he is a slave. One day he will come to that position. Maybe after this one must have gone, or maybe after this one must have, graduated from or freed from slavery. You never know. You will smile at it, not knowing that one day it will be your portion, because you guys are actually seen as the same thing. You are seen as the same thing. A slave that is going to be sold, or a slave that is going to be used, or a slave that is going to be slaughtered. That is exactly the way it is. So you guys continue fooling yourself. Nah, it is Igbo. Tomorrow it becomes Hausa. No, it is Hausa. No, tomorrow it will become Omo Yoruba, Omo half Yoruba. Then from there, it become a Ilorin to Ikeja. Yeah, to Ibadan. You never know. It will spread. Then it become a problem. What am I trying to say? African leaders, they are very good at emulating evil. And when they emulate it, do you know who is going to be the beneficiary of their evil? Or will be a recipient of their evil acts? The recipient to their evil activities. It is you as an ordinary person on the ground. And that is the reason why you as an ordinary person on the ground will now begin to rise up to assuage or to stop a situation before it erupts. Be proactive as the youth, because they've been lying to you all this while. They've been lying to you. Think about it. Education is the key. Once you are educated, you will be the greatest. Now, all of a sudden, almost half of your life, schooling, educating, at the end of the day, you graduate, maybe some of you with first class upper, because where you are does not even understand the meaning of education, because it doesn't exist in their dictionary. That is the reason why a leader will go and forge something in the name that they are their qualifications. The same issue that was, that they were deliberating on, talking about the policy constitution, that this person forged a certificate, Tinubu forged a certificate, and at the end of the day, they sweep it under the carpet immediately. And this one did this, that one did that. Then at the end of the day, there is nothing that came out of them. They forged a certificate, of course they did. Where is the case? Swept under the carpet, because judiciary is actually being controlled remotely. Now, all that, I think it is time Africa, African leaders or African continent or country will begin to understand the value of technocrats, because it is a kind of what we need as a solution in those African countries that is still working. The reason being that when you are a president who only holds certificate of what do you call it? They say, do they call it maybe you went to secondary school, you came out, and at the end of the day, when you came out of secondary school, you get a certificate of senior secondary school, and then in that secondary school you were not, it was just a secondary school, not a technical school, a special school. Let me be general about it. It is not a special school. You just came out after the theory of 6 years. You come out of it. Now you begin to think about going to be a president when you did not went through a technical school. And being a president, you supposed to have a solution to the problem of your country as far as you have been there. So if you don't know how to solve the problem, you believe that you will hire, you will pick up, or you will buy solution to your problem. At the end of the day, you will be buying a very wrong solution, because some of these people that are working for the big world, their their solution, it is only meant for the type of economy run in the big world. Their solution, it is only meant for the type of security run in the big world. Their solution is based on that type of military, and the military core value run in the big world. When you bring such solution to opposite direction, it will react very, very negatively. And you decide to go and buy solution that you do not know whether it is going to be working for you, then you will buy problem. They will continue to give you hope. They will continue to advise you. Now, continue doing such thing. It will improve. Continue doing such thing. Things are going to improve in the name of economics, or e-commerce. In the name of that, they will be advising you. Before you know it, you ruin your economy. Now people will start, the same people might even find a way or find something to do. If now there is a little problem in that place, in that country, it collapsed the economy. They will actually now say, now, this civil unrest yesterday is the one that collapsed this economy. They will now bring something like that as a leverage. Now, in doing, having seen all that, you will understand that it is time for us to know we can no longer, ignore what is happening to other people living in other countries. We must always engage. And when we are engaging, this is a geopolitical engagement. You engage in a dialogue situation. Engage in a dialogue situation. I know that Africa, they possess that, but they don't. They are too egotistic of who is going to start it. If you look at what they did, going to negotiate peace um, with Russia and Ukraine. It means that they have that, but they don't want to make use of it in their own continent. They have never removed the piece of wood that is in the eyes, in their own eyes. They want to go out there to remove it from other people's eyes. So, it is very, very important for us to see the atrocities being committed by another leader in another country, and we call it atrocities because it might actually come into your country at some point. So, the reason why, let me not go there. It will make this story, it will make this broadcast go very long, but let me not go there. The reason why I am saying it, let us look at this. There is a video next to me here. There is a video next to me. And that video is all about Shetima and Tinubu's inauguration that is coming tomorrow. In this video, Shetima talked about how people bullied the man in Asorok. Shetima talked about how the man in Asorok was a good man that never used extraordinary procedure or to actually react to his bullies, against his bullies rather. So he talked many things, but the only thing that I found fascinating, or will I say, I saw the president emeritus of Kenya. Now I saw him in the midst of this or in this auditorium where Shetima and all these people were invited to actually pre-honor those presidents select in Nigeria. So I saw the Kenyan president, whom in his watch a political activist was kidnapped, tortured for 8 days illegally. This is not in the book, Kenyan's book. It is not in Kenyan's book, except if they have created the book recently, in case if what they did have to, come to backfire. They did it off the book, kidnapped Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and tortured him for 8 days, kept him in an apartment, not in a police holding cell, not in a military holding cell, not anywhere, but they took him, kept him in their own space. And now Nigeria brought up a private jet to extraordinary rendition this man so that he will stop speaking the truth to power. Kenyan President Emeritus, whom is known to be Uhuru Kenyatta. I think that street in Biafra land called Kenyatta, we need to clean the name of that street. We need to just wipe the name of that street called Kenyatta Street. in Biafra land. We need to erase that name because that name, it is a bad omen to the, you know, it is a bad omen to the progress of Biafra. The reason why I say so is that Uhuru Kenyatta, regardless of how pan you are of Africa or pan Africa you might be, or how you want to unify Africa, and you are doing it off the book, you are doing it infringing human rights activities. You have not started because you are not of, you know, you are not somebody of a due process. So anybody who is not of a due process against the people he so called, or he so said he want to unite, if you cannot have a principle that does not violate the right of your own people first, your people first, there is no way you are going to bring this unity you guys talk about all the time. Because if engaging in your own, engaging in argument in this subject, or in this, in this subject of this extraordinary rendition against a political activist who traveled to Kenya, and he was in Kenya legally. He was in Kenya legally. He is not a fugitive. He has never committed any crime against the law of Kenya. He has never committed any crime against any law of any land in this planet Earth. Only that Nigeria hate to hear the truth, and they hate to do something that is going to change the life of a ordinary black man. They rather take that blessings or that success to Europe, Dubai, France, anywhere, USA. They go there, they make, they will use it, and it will be beneficial to people around there, never to their people. That person can never be, or such a person can never be among Pan-African movement, because you are actually a tyranny, a tyrant. It is an act of tyranny, because how can you be fighting for Africa development, Africa, growth, Africa unity, but when somebody who is a political activist in your watch, a tourist in Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta decided that this person will be kidnapped, tortured for 8 days, hand over to Nigeria in his soil. If he want to claim that he was never involved in such act, I don't think so. I don't think that, I believe that those who were involved will be brought to book, regardless of who they are. Because if they want to bring an argument that these people never informed him, they did it through their corrupt this thing, who is prosecuted? Who is one of these corrupt, officials that is actually prosecuted? No, but none of them. Did you make a case against Nigeria for invasion of Kenya and the kidnapping, torturing, extraordinary rendition your tourist, and you never said anything in your watch because he's a black person? He is not a president. A black person who is actually exposing the criminality of you leaders of Africa, a criminality of one of your colleague, a leader in Africa, or the atrocities of this imperialist controlled government, then he becomes the enemy who need to be dealt with of the book. Because if you want to argue, this thing happened after it happened. I think after the extraordinary rendition, all of them traveled to UK. They all traveled to UK, and at the end of the day, this relationship between Kenya and Nigeria, began to draw closer. But is it drawing closer for the benefit of Kenyan citizens? Is it drawing closer for the benefit of Nigeria citizens? Why is it actually especially this relationship is never about William Ruto, the sitting president or the incumbent president, because he is a pan-Africa. And I have seen that he is a pan-Africa. The reason why I say so is that by their fruit you shall know them. Now, William Ruto is not a pan-Africa, and that is the reason why he will get involved in the things that does not, that will never support Africa being free. Because before Africa will be free, ordinary people must be free from their tyrant leaders first. That is when they will understand the value of freedom before they escalate it. You cannot actually tell me freedom is okay, but you have never given me freedom. Yet you are calling for freedom from another place. You need to learn how to give your own people freedom first before you will actually extend the love. If Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, rendition from Kenya, and at the end of the day, Uhuru Kenyatta now continue to, dine with these people who invaded his country and took away his tourists, without, and he never prosecuted anybody. He never talked about it. He just continued to support this APC-led government. And we know one thing about APC-led government. They actually love, bribing people. They love bribing people because they have too much money. They are sitting on Nigerian money. It has become their, private properties and private inheritance. That is what it has become. So they are capable of bribing even angels. They will become, they will turn to become a saboteurs. Remember, angel is for everybody, but they will turn and be choosy about how to share this blessing that is not of theirs. So that is exactly the reason why you will continue to see many leaders supporting atrocities that is, coming out of Nigeria. To bribe an ambassador or diplomat, it is just hello. It is just like saying to somebody hello. To bribe a diplomat in Nigeria, just like saying hello to somebody. Any place in Nigeria go, they will actually teach people how to do bribery, because that is the only thing that Nigeria produce. They will bribe their way to heaven. That is the reason why they have to impoverish you. They have to make sure that what belongs to you, belongs now, they will take it by force in order to use it to make sure that, you know, they impoverish you. Because they will only use such money for bribery. They will have enough because they have taken yours. But you will never understand how they have taken yours because of young people, young generation. They don't even want to engage in politics. They don't even want to engage in, how economy is run, how they're supposed to benefit from every economy. They do not engage in such, education. That is the reason why they will use all that money, because they need all of them to make it available, to make sure that they bribe anyone who will want to stand up to expose their atrocities that of a good influence or is a high influence rather. They will bribe such person, make sure that person will never, make sure that that person will remain in periphery. They will never, because of course you are bribed now. You don't need to come, to into that topic or that engage in such subject which they have bribed you for. You will never come into it. You will just be doing your own things, acting like it doesn't exist when you know it exists. So that is exactly what Uhuru Kenyatta is doing, because it's in this video that I am about to play here. He is in this video. The same APC government who violated international right, international law and treaty against Kenya government. The same Kenya government who was in this position of power during this atrocities commission is the same person who never talked about it. He came to actually support president-elect by APC because, of course, Koleri Ezuoka Herude na Totu Ngiga. When, birds of the same feather gather, they flock together. When birds of the same feather gather, they flock together. This is actually making me to suspect whether indeed, to suspect if people of Kenya are not treated the same way people of Nigeria is treated. Because that is how, because if birds of the same feather gather, they flock together. It means that they have something in common in the corruption that is eating up their people' future. They have something in common. That's why he gathered here. Now I want you to see this place. You did not find president-elect. He sent a delegate. That is another thing that is trending. He will always send a delegate. You will never find him. The vice president is there to represent him, and it will remain so. If any of you believe that vice president coming to represent him, that it will just be because he is still busy preparing for inauguration. Preparation of inauguration is making sure he attend all this, whether it is a conference, whether it is a seminar, whether it is a pre-inauguration ceremony. He's supposed to attend it because it is about him. It is all about him. He is not in the position of power yet. He is not there yet. For you to say that he is too busy. Maybe he went to UN representative, or he went to G7 or G6. None of such is happening right now. So he's supposed to be forming relationship, knowing the people that is going to govern by attending all this ceremony pre-inauguration, making sure that he is present, that he is going to be a present president. But these few days is an evidence that you will never have a present president. If something like COVID-19 comes, or the one that work in Nigeria comes, which is pandemic, it means that you will still not have anybody to speak to you. You will never have anybody to speak to you because he is an absent president. You will only be seeing Shetima, which Shetima that is going to speak to you. And this Shetima, the problem I have with him is not like he cannot speak to you. The problem I have with him, I don't understand his speech. I don't hear his type of, the language he speak. I don't understand it. I am telling you the honest truth. I don't understand it. That is the only problem I have with him representing Emilokon, because I have already made peace with it that Emilokon will not be present. I have made peace with it, but I pity those one Nigerians. Because myself, that is the reason why I said, it's not like I have problem him being a vice president, because I told you, many people said it, he is not going there to be Tinubu's, in the office. It is about Shetima being in the office, the way he pronounced it. It is about Shetima being in that office. And then you will understand that it has begun. It has begun prematurely, because he is trying to make sure everything that he's doing today now, he is building himself. He is taking medical treatment. He is taking everything therapy. He is making sure that he will be able to finish the inauguration without falling down. That is exactly what he is actually doing right now. That's why you will not see him. The only thing you will be hearing, Tony Blake visited him. The ex prime minister, former prime minister of Britain, visited him, and they will tell you who this man of the United States Department of State visited him or gave him a phone call. Those are the things that is keeping him busy, right, Abby? They are the things that is keeping him busy. That's why he cannot attend pre-inauguration ceremonies. He cannot attend them. He is too busy. But to believe you me, he is fighting to make sure that he is fit to stand the inauguration, to make sure he is there and finish it. That is the reason why he is doing everything he is doing right now. That's it. It's not as if he does not want to exhaust, his time in occasions, attending occasions. He wants to save such energy for the day of inauguration, so that he will be able to stand the whole time until the inauguration is over without falling down. It might sound like a joke, might sound to you like a conspiracy, but let's continue to go. The man you have elected is now taking a lead. He is always the man that will be present. The other man, who is so-called the principal, will never ever be president. Let's listen to this guy. Let's listen to him. You will also now understand that it is not about the other man, because the other man does not exist. The other man is not the reason why we are here. We are just doing a formality. Let's actually listen to the man that is there, that you have selected into the power, or they have selected into the power, and they have imposed on you. Tomorrow they will be called, or they will be named a president. After then, tomorrow you will hear that Peter Obi could not present a good in the court of law. Therefore, they actually nullify the case against the president, on seat, because he will no longer be president select. It will now be president on seat. Then you will look at these things, you will think, how? Nigeria constitution. Whether he is a criminal, whether you find him rigging an election, you have to actually put him in the office first. Put him in the office first. These are policies made in it is actually a long-term plan. Because they will continue to make this, every year by year they will do the same thing. Put him in the office first. Once he goes into the office, he has now the power. He has now the power to control every system in that contraption called Nigeria. Put him there first. It is according to Nigeria constitution. And after the tribunal is concluded, then if the tribunal is against him, you will now take him out. How many of them has ever been taken out? How many of them? None of them. Okay. When you see them taking out somebody, you should understand that that person is the person who actually won the election. It will always work on the opposite direction, because the system will always make sure they play a game that will, you will look at, because you forget so quickly. They will play it, you look at it, you say it doesn't matter. Everything will be all right. One day it will be better. God is watching. Then they will play such game very, 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 in few days time, few months time, few weeks time. You forget that they play this game. You say there is nothing I can do. There is nothing you can do. Without you forgetting that it is when you, after you count one, you count two. If you start, pushing back all these things that they are throwing at you, then the next person will see you, they will start pushing back. Another person sees you, they start pushing back. Another person sees you, they start pushing back. But if you continue to swallow it, waiting for it to get worse before you start fighting, that means you are going to, get hurt, because you are now making more of them testing the power. They are now getting the taste of power. They are now getting the taste of tyranny. They are now getting the taste of embezzling public funds. You think so many of them are now getting into it? Brutality will continue to expand. Wickedness will continue to expand. Time wait for no man. Time wait for no man. That's something you need to understand. If you don't fight now, what if you die tomorrow? Because now you are postponing the fight. At the end of the day, what if you die tomorrow? Then you will never do anything productive. But when you fight now, you have left a legacy. that will never, ever, ever be, erased. That is writing your name in the book of life, because you actually led, you know, the leaders or the people that rescued your nation. If you cannot lead, if you cannot actually motivate people, tell the people, teach people how to get the fair share of the economy, how to get the fair share of the cake, how to get their equal share. It can be through civil disobedience. It is your right in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. As long as it will be peaceful, your right. Nobody has the right to take that away from you, except if you want it to be taken away from you. Now, tomorrow is another day where they will plant another seed, or they will actually begin another, torture against you. You are the one who is going to be on the receiving end of it. Maybe, everyone will be on the receiving end of it. But because I have seen that I have to reject this, this thing, this system, I have to reject this move, because it will never work for me. It will destroy me. And if it destroys me, it has destroyed the life of my children. It has destroyed the life of, my upcomings. So it is important that I actually make sure that I speak truth to them in any means possible. Now, listen to this guy. Listen to this guy. He is very, he is, somehow condescending. He sounds condescending somehow. But listen to this guy.
ECFR, Your Excellency, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, the Deputy Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives, the maverick politician Zufra Kinkepi, the National Chairman of the APC, and members of the NWC of the party, His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, my Lord Bishop Hassan Matthew Kuka, the President of the ADB, Dr. Akinwumi Adeshina, the Oni of Ipe, and my young brother.
This is Bishop Kuka. I hope you saw Bishop Kuka. Bishop Kuka that Femi Adesina said that he is always cooking. I think he said he is always cooking, wrong things, that he should join politics. Bishop Kuka. The same Bishop Kuka who was actually criticizing this party, criticizing this administration. The same Bishop Kuka is with this party now, laughing and celebrating this party. These are the same bishops. Tomorrow you say, oh, it is not religious people, they are good people. They are very, very good people. Somebody will say that we have deviated and talking against religion, because they don't understand what it takes to fight for freedom. If you cannot take a holistic approach to fight a freedom, you are a joke. You are fooling yourself. Freedom must come, but you must apply a holistic approach. Whether it is going to favor or whether it is going to, be anger some people, you take a holistic approach. Bishop Kuka is there. He's a bishop of Christian church who criticized these people few months ago, who actually criticized APC for their activities few months ago. He is now in the midst of this APC, and now he is celebrating them. And through celebrating them now to confuse you, because he is a Roman Catholic. They have too much millions of followers in Nigeria. Once he confuse you, influence you, you will forget the real game, or you will forget the real deal. That is something that is very, very, you know, evil about what these people are doing. Very, very evil. And you will tell me that I should not engage in things of religion. Religion is part of the reason why Nigeria amalgamation was actually done. Part of the reason why Nigeria amalgamation was done, because they know there will be a conflict between these two religions. This one will be using this one, brainwashing his people. The other one will be using this one, brainwashing their people, while on the other hand, influencing others to follow whatever they do. Even if they lead them to the hellfire, they continue to follow without asking questions, because you have no right, according to the religious teaching, according to the version of the Bible teaching that this type of religious people teaches you. You don't have right to ask questions. You don't have right to see before you believe. You must always believe before you see. They call you Tom. If you want to believe, see before you believe, they will call you Tom, Thomas. And from there, you become the enemy of the people. So while they continue to propagate such lies, you yourself, you will actually be getting captivated by their story day by day. You will continue to be captivated by their lies day by day, without you knowing that they are actually enslaving you. Because anybody that you become their role model, if they don't play their role model role, you know, uprightly, you automatically will be enslaved by their activities, because they have become your role model. So they continue to now move with you. The same way Africa is role model to Europe and America. In fact, the USA, Africa, or every other country that is actually affiliated to dollar, they are being controlled systematically. Wherever dollar go, they go. If dollar fall, they fall. If dollar rise, they rise. So that is actually the way they influence you with their dollar. So the same way that these religious leaders will always influence their followers. If they are going down, if he's going down, they're going down with him. Because they don't ask questions, they just believe. That is the reason why these same people will be influencing you negatively. Look at this guy. I believe that he saw many churches attacked by Fulanis. Fulani, the same administration, refused to call terrorists. They have come into churches, Christian churches, Catholic churches. They killed people. They made away with, with it, and nobody is actually paying the price for killing these people. These same people was not labeled terrorists. These same people will continue to do their killing spree across Nigeria. Kuka cried about it just for a few days, because Kuka maybe need his own share. He need his own share because whenever they start crying, it is all about needing his own share. You saw the interview that Femi Adesina, you know, took with Channels TV. He said that Bishop Kuka is always cooking, negative things, that he's always cooking lies, that he should join politics because he is now playing politics. It is actually a confession. It is actually, the way it is. So let us listen to these people. After all this, APC backlash against Kuka, Kuka came still to support APC. Then you know the way you will actually finalize it to you as those who are who see him as a role model. He will tell you that if Christ forgive, who are we not to forgive? That's what he will tell you. If Christ forgive, who are we not to forgive? And the life goes on. They will always find a way, a word that calms your nerves to continue to remain in your comfort zone that is actually eating you up, very, very close to your grave. Listen to this guy.
Dayo, Israel, members of the National Assembly present here, our service chiefs, our other foremost traditional rulers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Begin by thanking President Muhammadu Buhari. Ali bin Abi Talib said, "Power does not change a man, it reveals a man." In 8 years of stewardship, you were subjected to the most cruelest of attacks.
Listen.
You were demonized. You were dehumanized. You were even robbed of your humanity. You are called Sudan. But never for a single moment did you harass or use any extrajudicial means.
With Naked, you can get comprehensive car cover from just 180 Rand.
It is now going to show you that. It will show you that these, liars, they will continue to lie. They will never change from their lies. They will never ever change from their lies. They will continue to lie. Let's bring it back.
About a year ago, the nation was at the brink of an implosion. There was acute agitation for a power shift. For the first time in the contemporary history of Nigeria, I dare to be contradicted by anybody.
Okay.
For the first time, a sitting president provided the enabling environment for the conduct of a just and fair primaries in his political party. That was how
he created an enabling environment to create, to have a, I told you I don't understand this man speaking very well, but I believe he talked about primaries. He call it fair primaries because he is now a vice president select. That's why it is fair to him. And he is a member of APC. APC is a party built by the imperialists, sponsored by the imperialists to make sure that they continue to, destroy you, your life, your future, and everything you believe in. It is APC. And that is the reason why when they commit any crime, it doesn't come out to the world does not see it. Even if they do it in the open, nobody. Because they are the stooge to imperialists. Therefore, they will allow them to do as they please. Because while they are doing as they please, it now gives them more leverage to come in and take it to whichever way they want to take it. That's how they are rolling this game. Continue.
President-elect Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu
Where is he?
emerged as the flag bearer of the APC.
Where is he?
And as H.S. Aga said, the truth that sets men free is most often the truth that men prepare not to hear. The digital anarchists can say whatever they want, but the truth is that President Muhammadu Buhari conducted the purest and the contemporary history of Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Your actions are so loud that I do not hear what you say." Beyond the famous handshake with Raila Odinga,
President, he change every day.
on March 26, 2021, at the burial of late President John Magufuli of Tanzania at the Jamhuri Stadium in Dodoma, Tanzania, the then President Uhuru Kenyatta was eulogizing late President John Magufuli.
See him.
At about 12:52
President Uhuru Kenyatta.
p.m.
He came to help his friends celebrate. His friends select. They don't like free and fair election. They like selected election. When you finish election, the selection now happens. So he came to celebrate them. I hope you saw him.
There was a call to prayer and adhan from a nearby mosque. President Uhuru Kenyatta paused as a mark of respect to the Muslim people. After the call of prayer, he said, "Oleni wafeni mendili kwa kusema." Let me continue with my speech. And the dramatic pause was welcomed with raucous applause by all our attendees. Mayo Angelo said, "I have come to learn that people may forget what you said. People may forget what you did, but people may never forget what you have made them feel." He made me feel.
What you have made them feel. People will never forget what you have made them feel. But in Nigeria, people forget what you have made them feel. And it is true. They do forget. Very, very quickly. And SARS 2020. And this SARS, who created them? Who trained them? Who gave them the so-called core value? Who gave them the training? And what was the training all about? What is the training like? The same SARS killed you. And now you come out in your number to demonstrate your right. They came out and they shot at you. And then millions of people from every tribe, they came together to end SARS. At the end of the day, they bring faction. They decided that they will come and shoot all of you. The same people who shot you 2020 end SARS is the same people they have selected into the position of leadership of Nigeria, so that they will continue, that you will never rise up to ask them to divide the national cake for everyone to get their equal share. No, you will never ask them, because they will kill you. And you continue to allow them. More you continue to allow them, more your life is bound to be ruined. Let us continue to see exactly how he talk about people will never forget what you did to them, but people will forget everything, but they will never forget what you make them feel. Did they ever, make you feel the sense of belonging? Did they ever make you feel like you have equal share in this country you call your own? Did they have, did they ever make you feel, without you being a betrayal to your community, without you being a betrayal to your society, did they ever make you feel like you are important? Except when they want to confuse you to come and say, no, you will vote for me, you rally with me during campaign. They will give you a half bag of rice. They will give you maybe tin tomato. They will give you maybe one or two semolina, bag of semolina or semovita. At the end of the day, you will sell your 80 years life, 80 years life money. You sell your 80 years money, you sell your 8 years employment, you sell your 8 years human right, you sold everything to them because of one bag of rice, one bottle of granite oil, then one bag of semovita, or maybe one tuber of yam. At the end of the day, you will sell it to them. They will violate you, because all they want is, once they bribe you, you come to rally with them. They can bribe even 1 million people so that you will come and rally, with them. For them to show people, no, we have the number. Those numbers they bought. Now, it does not matter, because these same people you have given your power are the same people who are going to destroy you and your life in the next 8 years. Maybe so many of you will die. So many of you will live. So many of you will live a life that death is better than. I am telling you the honest truth. Those who are, critically ill but does not have access to good hospital, does not have access to original medication, you are living a life of torture. A torture. That's exactly what is going on. These people will never give it to you. These people will never do anything that is going to be beneficial to you. It is a system of you can't beat it, so you have to join it. And the more you are trying to preserve this system, hoping that this system will help you in future, the more you are creating more problem for yourself. The more you are advancing your problem. That's exactly what it is. He made you feel like you are a monster that must be contained. That's what they have been making you feel. Never made you feel like you are part of them. They make you feel like you are you are a foreigner. Even they treat foreigners better. They treat people who are visitors more better than they treat you, who is the owner or the equal share owner in this company called Nigeria. You continue to buy their story. You continue to actually stand without questioning them. It's a pity.
Proud as an African, it made me proud as someone who believes in the progress and unity of the African nation. The Sultan of Sokoto spends a greater time of his time crisscrossing the length and breadth of this nation, fostering unity and diversity for our great nation.
Sultan
And my
of
very good
Sokoto.
friend, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka, like Gani Pawahimi, is not a man of in-between. He's the
Kuka,
God's life,
who
the
cook
incomparable.
lies.
You either love him passionately or hate him intensely.
Kuka, who cooks propaganda.
When he attended the interreligious conference at the Vatican along with the 14th Emir,
That is what APC called you.
Cesar Aleta, a Spanish telecoms giant mogul, offered $1 billion to the Catholic Church. The Catholic pontiff is a Jesuit priest who believes passionately in education. He advised Cesar Aleta to invest that fund in education in the developing world. and Bishop Kuka and the 14th Emir invited him to come to northern Nigeria. That was how the Koro experience started unveiling here in Nigeria. And lo and behold, the religious merchants went to town that Bishop Kuka is trying to Christianize the North. I came out and defended him. And there was a payback time about 8 years down the line. When I emerged as the vice presidential candidate of the APC, people expected him to come out firing on all cylinders. They never knew of my relationship with Matthew Kuka. He chose the path of the golden mean and said, look, Nigerians, you all have to write. You all have the right to vote for the candidates of your choice, but we don't have to demonize any person. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I began my boss's speech by thanking our esteemed keynote speaker, His Excellency, Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta, for his remarkable address. As a leader of a great and proud African nation, you have personally managed the crucial yet often difficult interplay between democracy and development. We were all cultivated and listened with unbroken attention to your portrayal of the political, economic, and social forces that describe the arena of national governance. Like you, I'm an African. I love our continent dearly. If I were asked 100 times to choose my own birthplace, then 100 times over I will choose to be an African and a Nigerian.
Why would we not choose to be an African and a Nigerian? It is a place where everything you get away with anything you commit. Africa and Nigeria, of course, it is good for you because you have become a vice president. So if you become a European, they won't even see you because you will not be you won't contribute anything to the growth of the nation. You won't contribute anything to anybody that is going to be beneficial to anybody. You are proud to be a Nigeria and an Africa because it is for free. If you steal, for free. If you kill, for free. If you do anything for free, nothing, you can't pay for them. That's exactly why you are proud and happy. Who wouldn't be? Let us continue. I didn't know that this guy is a motivational speaker. No, of course, he is not. APC. They always provide leadership that is going to be running you on Google. Leadership that runs on Google. At least it is easier today. They have introduced artificial intelligence called ChatGPT. So they just run on ChatGPT. That is exactly down how they run you. Whether they know anything or whether they just tell ChatGPT to tell you one or two. GBT, give it to them. They will come and read it. You will think, oh, these people are very intelligent. These people are very, very recommendable. Without you knowing that it is never their own making. I nearly called him a good motivational speaker, but I just remembered, it just occurred to me that it could be, AI at work. Let us continue.
I am proud to belong to this lineage and to be of this place. My heart beats proudly to see how my fellow Nigerians and Africans are creating their own democratic, political cultures and institutions to fit the conditions and challenges of their societies. The essence of democracy emerges dialogue, justice, and fair play. That it is more than a form of government. It is a way of life, a distinctive manner of thought and conduct for a leader. As such, it challenges each leader to be his better self, and this can be difficult at times, but remains indispensable to the steady functioning of democracy. Democracy is a benign paradox. It guarantees freedom, Yet its survival is dependent on the responsible and limited use of that freedom. In the long run, it is the best form of government because it allows the majority to have its way while safeguarding the fundamental interests of the minority. It is forever a work in progress, a road that never ends, yet one that grows finer and less wearisome the more you walk it. I hold precious our democracy, not as a tidy abstraction, but as a pragmatic vessel that can take this nation to safer harbor in all aspects of our collective existence. Through the lenses of our national experience, I can see the scales balancing the merits of democracy against those other forms of government. I can see plainly that an imperfect democracy is better than the most perfect dictatorship. It is more just.
Have you now seen how they are actually, you know, consoling themselves? How they are actually consoling themselves of their dictatorship. Have you now seen it? Aye. Wow. This side, these guys, they will continue. Oh, God help the Nigeria. God help Nigerians. Because you have entered one chance. Serious one chance you have entered. Where is the dictatorship, please? Where is the dictatorship? Because are we talking about dictatorship that when there is a corrupt official in China, because there are dictatorship, right? If there is a corrupt official in China, they will deal with that corrupt official decisively. Where is the dictatorship? The same thing applicable to Russia. Where is the dictatorship? So in Nigeria, they claim they don't practice, they don't like dictatorship, but dictatorship is holier than what they like or what they are practicing. Will I say? Holier. Because dictatorship deal with corrupt officials. These people, they actually make sure that they bring corrupt official in their own government because they will know better how to, get away with criminality. Let's continue.
More human, and even more productive. We have emerged from one of the most fiercely contested elections in the annals of humanity, and the resounding echoes of the promises we have made serve as a haunting reminder that failure is a luxury we cannot afford. We are surrounded. We are surrounded by the expectations of our citizens, the skepticism of our opponents, and the chain of chaotic events that necessitate the proper functioning of democracy. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I stand on this elevated ground, what I behold are not mere individuals. I see a visual manifestation of the expectations placed upon us in this hall. The allure of this system of governance lies not in the ostentation of authority. What distinguishes democracy is the recognition that power is not ours to claim. We, adorned in flowing robes and fancy suits, are but servants, duty-bound to never underestimate the true proprietors of this power. We are here to serve. We are here to listen. We are here to be held accountable. We are not saints on an evangelical mission. Therefore, like every mortal, we may stumble here and there. However, none of these mistakes will be intentional. We shall never be oblivious to the impermanence of this power. And we acknowledge that we shall be judged by man, time, and God. No doubt, our hearts swell with gratitude. No doubt, assuming the mantle of leadership in these troubled times warrant deep reflections. We shall undoubtedly honor and celebrate this opportunity. Yet I implore you, let the strains of our jubilation be hushed, for now is not the time to revel in the enchantment of triumph. Instead, let us come together in solemn unity and recognize the realities that afflict our nation. As Winston Churchill said,
Every time they will tell you, let us come together, let us come together. But they have vowed that you will never be a president of that country. They have vowed that one tribe, Biafrans, Igbo people, they will never be a president of such country, which they will always tell you, let us come together, let us come together. Let us come together, let us come together. We are going to bring togetherness. Every time they rob you of your own mandate, they will now advise you, let us come together. Have you now seen the hypocrisy? There is something he will say later. You also pick on Buhari again, talking about people saying that he was called imposter or Jubril of Sudan. He talked about that he was called Jubril of Sudan. He never taken any approach. Why would he take any approach? But because he is Jubril of Sudan. The approach he can only take is number one, added to the charges he claimed that he leveled against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Because the court will now demand a DNA test. That is the reason why. That is the only thing that will prove the allegation is incorrect. That is the reason why he actually was not talking about it. But he said that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was talking so many things when he was in Europe, from Europe, that he should go to court and defend them. Why is he not including one of so many things he talked about, which is that he is a Jubril of Sudan? Otherwise, let there be a DNA test conducted, with the real Buhari's child, for you to see that he is Jubril. Because they know that there is anybody who will have influence to talk about it, they bribe you. They will bribe Anya. They will bring you one bag. Once they give you one bag, you are calm. Once they see that you have influence of controlling another group somewhere outside Biafra land or another group inside Biafra land in politics, they will bribe. Come on, take this bribe, keep quiet. But now, among every other thing, you never add it in the case. If you say this is actually supposed to be a defamation of character, right? Why is he not part of the 15-count frivolous charges labeled against this man? Why did you not include that? But he is claiming that people are calling you. If you notice the way he responded to the Igbo people who came to ask him for dialogue or political solution, he said he should go and defend himself when he was in Europe insulting people in Nigeria. He should go to the judiciary and go and defend himself. Why did you not bring up the crucial one? He said he insulting people, insulting Nigeria. Why he didn't talk about him insulting you? Because you know it is the truth. Because if you have to go through a court process, it will warrant you to go for a DNA, proper DNA, monitored. And of course, the DNA would be monitored by our own people also. Because you know it is something that is going to be crucial. And your advisors, which is Britain, Told you, don't bring up, don't come close to that, because they know the process of court, they know the process of judiciary, and that is the reason why they will advise you, don't even go there, don't talk about it. These are the same people that is telling you that they say you are Jubril of Sudani. He went ahead and said again, they say that this so-called Boko Haram founder or Boko Haram sponsor, everyone started laughing. This so-called Boko Haram. There is something you should understand. Many times when somebody want to confuse you in anything that people say they do, because people now will say it is social media that it carries so many fake news. The only thing that makes such news fake, it is because it is coming from unknown source. It is coming from somebody who does not, who is not in political space, or who is not in religious space, or in religious leader that controls millions. It is only when it does not, when it comes out from these people, that it makes sense. That's why the Oyedepo found some piece of that. He read it. They made sure that he doesn't read again. They sought him out. They will even call him uncle. Uncle, please collect your own. Whether they sought him out with giving them Tinubu as a leader. It is your turn. Don't ruin it, uncle. Don't ruin it. It is your turn next month. It is your turn next year. Please don't ruin it. We can assure you it is your turn. Then he keep quiet, because he care. Even in church, they care about the people who is their own people inside church. But when you call them on the phone, they will say, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. So it is always like that. He kept quiet. He kept mute. So, to the extent the so-called call put through to by P2B, or call put through by not P2B, it came out. Whether it is true or not, it came out. He didn't come to debunk it. He didn't come to support it. He just kept quiet. If he is a true man of God, if he is indeed, the type of person that they say that, of course, when we talk about people who are men of God, we see these people as spotless people with no sin, no lies. They don't lie. Everything they tell you is yes and amen. That's the type of people we see in men of God, because they are the people who are teaching you to live righteously. So they have to live righteously. They tell you not to tell lies. So you have to they have to live life without lies. They never come out, because it is their turn. Whether they told they will, he will be probably maybe advised. Whether you come out or not, it is your turn next year. So don't ruin it. So, have you now seen? And most of the time, when these people, that news, they will call it fake news, because it didn't come from mainstream. That's why people will always believe it doesn't come from mainstream. It is a fake news, without knowing that it might be an information leaked, authentic information leaked. They bring it out. Somebody leaked it to help the public. Somebody leaked it to inform the public, but they will use the mainstream media to make it fake. One time you will see such thing happening, coming through. They will never bring fake mainstream media to talk about it again. They will actually they will paralyze it. It will never rain again. Of course, they know how to use social media, censor social media. They can censor social media. If they decide now that they want to censor me, maybe they will start, giving robot my voice. Sometimes you will think that maybe we have few people watching. You don't know that half of them are robots watching me. You will think that somebody is watching me. You don't know that they have censored the type of people who are going to, engage in this topic, so that it doesn't get to the wider audience. That's the way they do it. So this guy that you are seeing right now, he said that he is called that he is called Boko Haram sponsor. He bring it to say it to you so that you get used to it. He brought it to you so that you will get used to it. And you will say, no, he is proud. If it was not, if it is the truth, he will not talk about it. Whether he talk about it or not, he knows that it is already in the public domain. Everybody is with it. So he has to act as if, it is nothing. It doesn't exist. So that he will lie to you. Now let me leave it here. But tomorrow inauguration, they are inaugurating somebody that is not going to be, a present president. It will be absent president of those who are still affiliated with British imperial, amalgamation or British imperial system called Nigeria. Imperialism called Nigeria, that they will always select their stooge to be called your leader. Otherwise, they will not be the leadership will not allow them to come in as they want. Just like they went and trained SARS. They trained SARS. Why is Britain training SARS? This is the question that we are not asking. Why were they training SARS? Does it mean that SARS is a military? Why are they training SARS? Because I know that the only type of people you can train internationally, it is the military. Because the military now, you will give them, just like you saw Chinese, Russia, South Africa military had a drill. They had trainings together. They actually showcase their skills together. Military. But Britain decided that they have to train. Let me bring it in front of you so that you will not think it's a lie. They decided that they have to train SARS. SARS that brutalized you. SARS that, dealt with you. SARS that, rip you off your life. SARS that killed so many of you. SARS that harvested your organ. SARS that dumped your loved ones in a river, in the rivers. SARS that killed them in cold blood. SARS that actually or sell you, because they don't take you to prison, because it is court that takes you to prison. They will lock you in their cell having a bullet in your leg, lock you in the cell having a bullet in any part of your body. It will get rotten inside the cell. Nigeria SARS, trained by whom? Almighty Britain, spotless Britain, who does not like infringement on human rights. This is one of the activities of SARS. They boot you, they treat you like a common criminal. You cannot do anything. Let me read this for you, as I know that you will also be seeing it in your screen, because it is basically not my own, It is not my own write up. It is what it is. The UK government provided training and equipment to a notorious police unit in Nigeria accused of torturing and extrajudicial killing one of extrajudicial killings. One of Boris Johnson's minister has confirmed that. This is the same Boris Johnson you want him to talk about Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Now, let's continue. The Minister for Africa, James Doddridge, admitted British officials had trained officers from the now disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, between 2016 and 2020, having initially denied any ties. Having initially denied any ties. Are you paying attention? They denied it. Why did they deny it? Because they know that they created a killing machine to continue to reduce your number. The number of so many monkeys you find in southern part of the amalgamation. So they actually made sure they created them. That's why they denied it first. Because before the opposition parties now used it to run their politics, because that's the only way these things are coming out. Opposition party will use it as a leverage against the standing party. Let's continue. Now, having initially denied any ties, in a letter sent to Labour MP Kate Osamo on Thursday, the minister said SARS officers had participated in training designed to improve human rights, training on public finance, and community policing workshops. He also confirmed radio equipment was given to Nigeria police, which was then used by SARS. Let's continue. Osamo, who had demanded the UK government reveal any tie to SARS, told the Independent, "It is shocking that in the middle of global protest to end SARS, our government appears to have had no idea whether or not it was funding those very units." The MP said she had been told categorically by the minister earlier this month that no funding ever made its way to SARS unit. The government has now been forced to admit that it not only spend millions training SARS, but also directly supply them with equipment. Now, the only reason why we are reading this, the reason why I read this to you and I brought it to your screen so that you will also read with me, so that for you not to say it is my word. It is now indeed, why did Britain government decide to invest their money on the police that is killing people on a daily basis in Nigeria? Why did they actually invest their money there? It is part of immorality of Britain government. They did it. Why did they deny it at first? Because they know that they have committed a crime against humanity. They sponsored, I will say, genocide on the people of Nigeria, especially the people in the southern region of Nigeria. They sponsored it. You saw it played. When you came to end it, Catriona Lang ran, told Tinubu, "It is your turn. Make sure you stop this protest, because if it will ruin your turn, maybe if there is a revolution, your turn will never come again." Make this protest stop at all cost. At the end of the day, they carried it out, which ended up with you getting shot at. So the same Britain continued to congratulate and visit Tinubu. The same people could be continue to, promote everything that is going to bring about your downfall and intimidation against you. The same people will continue to promote it. So now, who do you believe in? They fund it. Tomorrow you will think Britain is bringing money to Nigeria. The same money, they are using it to fund it. While this is the part of the, a small piece of the profit, a small piece they took from the profit they made from your country. They bring it back in the name they are bringing it through NGO. They bring it back in the name that they are philanthropists. They are donating to this country. It is the little amount, part of the profit, maybe 1% of the profit they made from out of what they have taken from you. They will bring it back. This is the way it is. For Africa to actually gain its independence, we need to destroy every imperial structure that is actually destroying and destabilizing our future, making sure that we are not growing. We need to destroy them so that we will build Africa that is built and I said mastermind by African, not Africa that is masterminded by imperialists, not Africa that is under control of the West. Africa that is going to be independent, not Africa that is going to be under control of China, Russia, or any country. Must be independent, because in this regard, if you look at it, there is, you need to disalign, you need to align. But if you don't use the mistake you made in the past to correct the future, it means that you are less than a human being. We need to destroy the amalgamation. We need to destroy the amalgamation. It is the imperialist agenda that has never ever been beneficial to any black person or Africa in general. Because if you look at people in Africa, if you go to other African nations which are complaining about people from Nigeria, it is part of, you see now how it is now going to be from your problem that is supposed to be in Nigeria, it becomes another problem in another African country. It is because people in Africa, they are not advocating for better governance, geopolitically, or will I say continental. They are not in this continent of Africa. They are not, they believe that everybody should mind their business. So your business, if no matter how much you mind it, the problem that is here is going to actually affect you one way or the other. If you don't learn the voice, learn the skills, learn the initiative, let's resolve it here so that it does not come to your border. It has always been like that, except if until we, Africa leaders begin to actually criticize one another, Africa will never be great. Africa will never, make it to the top. Because the more, if you cannot criticize one another, there is no way there will be a dialogue that will unify you. There must be a criticism. You are not governing well, then I will tell you are not governing well. Then I will remind you of the wrong thing you do. You remind me of the wrong thing I do. then I will find a way to correct it. It is already in the open. It is actually a system where you can do away with all this imperial, power on you, because now they will see you are under pressure. You will do the right thing. Until we meet again. I don't have any time. We're going to go off right now. Stay safe and stay informed. Maybe we will come back tomorrow and continue to propagate this gospel. I didn't conclude because there is no more time. I only have like less than 10 seconds left.